Yeah, you can't have a swing thought in the batter's box when you're facing a real pitcher, because then you're distracted. You're distracted from the one thing that you're supposed to do, which is to see that ball, pick that ball up, see it really really well, track it, and get a barrel to it or take it. Like that is the focus. That is what you should be doing when you're in the batter's box. So if you're thinking about your swing, you got the energy going two different ways, man. So I use the analogy of the TV, right? You know, we've used it before. If I go back and forth to that last button and I just click it over and over and over, what happens? The image is distorted. And when the image is distorted, you can't make out anything. That's what's happening when you're thinking about what you're trying to do with your swing and trying to see the baseball. So that's why I tell you guys the purpose of your pregame, the tee work, the front toss, the purpose of the tee work is to find the feel of your swing. You're finding a feel. Like there's not in the tee work, there's the thought that creates the feel. Then you go to front toss, and now you're starting to add a little bit of the timing element and the feel. And then if you guys get to the throwing piece, now you're starting to see the ball. So we have feeling the swing, feeling the timing, and then feeling the pitch. And then you get to a game and you start putting it all together. So that's why you can you can tell when something's off in a game based on the feel. Now, like we talk about a lot, is it off because of the pitch that I swing at? Now, if you swing at the wrong pitch, you're probably not going to put off your best swing. So you don't just come to a game and decide to change your swing. That just doesn't happen. Now, if I'm late, my swing will change. If I swing at the wrong pitch, my swing will change. If I don't see the ball, my swing will change. If I'm thinking the wrong stuff, overthinking, then my swing might fall apart. But you got to remember, man, like the ball starts with the pitcher, and the last thing that happens is the swing. It's the last thing that happens. Everything in front of you dictates the swing that you take and your thoughts, right? See, so many of us want us to get so hung up and focused on the swing that we're not really thinking about, hey, how am I working with the pitcher? How am I syncing myself up? How am I seeing that ball? How am I tracking that ball? And then what pitch am I looking for? And then where do I fall on the timing? Do I fall on the timing error? Do I fall on the later side or the early side? See, that's the process that you got to be thinking about. That's the process I've been talking about. Since you started here, but now you're starting to see what I mean. And it takes a minute, man. But here's the thing, dude, though. But your thing right now is just focus on seeing the ball really, really well. The swing that you have for right now is going to be your swing for this year. Right now, it's not the time to really focus on making changes to your swing. Now, you can make adjustments, but not making changes. Swing change is an off-season thing. We're in season, man. The in season is focusing on the competition with the pitcher and understanding the assignment when you're in the box. And if you can do that, then you'll have a good year. But if you focus on off-season stuff during the in season, it's gonna be a long year for you, man. But that's what you're doing right now. Like you're not struggling, but you're just not playing as well as you thought you would. So immediately you're like, oh, dude, my swing's not right. You're already messed up. Like that was the last thing you needed to think about was, oh, dude, my swing just obviously doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, but when we look back and look at the pitches that he swung at, and then start looking at, okay, the timing, and start looking at the vision, and then what was your approach against that pitcher individually, now we can find out what happened. And it wasn't the swing. The swing is the last part of the process.